Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Hey, short timer.
Man, oh, don't call me that. Yeah, I got a few messages yesterday from people saying they were shocked and bummed out that I'm leaving the show.
Yeah.
And heading over to 97.5 Y Country starting Monday.
Yeah, that's a quick turn.
So, did you get enough tissues in and wipe the tears away?
My tear ducts are dry. They have been depleted of their tear reservoir.
That's all right. I'll still be around doing stuff.
Yeah.
But people were asking, like, are you still doing this? What about this? What about this? What's going on? I'm shocked.
We made the announcement yesterday that the morning show is evolving just a hair.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny is going down the hallway. He's going to be on the morning show with Jocelyn on Y Country, and I will be here. What do you think? Running the ship, running the show. What am I doing?
Well, I was going to say you should probably
steering the ship.
You should probably be in the spot that I'm sitting right now, so that you could push the buttons.
I'm enjoying you over there for one more day.
I will have you sit over here tomorrow. Just so I can answer questions if you may have them for little things.
No,
yeah.
Tomorrow should be your last day running the board.
No. I mean, if you want to, if that's what you want, I'll gladly do whatever you wish because I just want you to feel comfortable.
But the morning show will remain. We'll be here. We'll be strong. We will get through. We'll persevere.
Oh, you'll be fine.
All that,
and you won't be alone. You'll have friends that will be joining you.
Ton of friends. Yeah, Ken and friends. We'll have Congressman Fred Upton's going to join us next Tuesday.
Ooh.
That's going to be fun. Brett Witkowski's going to be joining us. We'll have a few other familiar voices come through. So it'll be fun. And we'll still do the streaming from 7 to 8 every day.
Sure. I'm sure I'll be around at some point.
Yep.
Lots to get to here this morning. Dave Wolf will have sports here in just a moment and recap some of the Tigers' pretty good run that they've got
doing
going on right now. Yeah. I think they lost the second game yesterday, but they were on a streak. They're on like a 4 or 5 game streak.
Good.
So they're looking good.
Excellent.
Keeping the bats alive, which is good.
Nice.
But let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Good morning. Some of the local stories we're looking at for you. Call it digital age growing pains. Recently, some patients of the Corewell Health System might have noticed some updates to MyChart, the technology used to track their health records. For most, it's meant some minor annoyances of re-entering information or delayed lab results. President of Corewell Health South, Dr. Lauren Hamill, spoke with us yesterday, and he says they are working on it.
Well, you may notice that it takes a little longer to register because we're putting records together kind of as we're registering folks, combining records. May take a little longer when you're there for lab tests. We expect that to last for a few weeks as we're pulling all the pieces together into a single platform.
Hamill says they're in the process of combining information across 22 hospitals in their system and 300 outpatient centers in Michigan. When that's complete, he says it'll be a much faster and more reliable system.
It's going to get way better over time. Anticipate that. If you suffer little frustrations the next time you're your doctor, be patient. We're building this to make it better for you, and it will occur for sure.
If you're having issues with your Lakeland or Corewell MyChart app, you can visit Corewell Health Lakeland's Hospital's Facebook page for ways that you can get help. They have a couple of different ways. You can go to their website, you can get their email, you can call them in person. So again, if you're having any issues whatsoever with the MyChart, just give them a call and they will help you out.
Cool.
Yeah. In other news, this is the time of year when ticks are active, and the Berrien County Health Department is keeping a close eye on those ticks. Berrien County Health Officer Guy Miller tells us the department conducts surveying of ticks each year thanks to a grant from the state of Michigan.
We do something called a tick drag, which we drag cloth for about 1,000 feet. And as we're dragging that, we're picking that cloth up and we're looking for ticks. And we're looking for particular species of ticks. We're not testing them for any infectious diseases or anything, but we'd like to know what types of ticks are.
Oh, yuck.
That gives me the shivers.
Yuck.
They drag a piece of fabric for 1,000 feet in the brush.
Nope.
And
sign me up for not doing that.
Take a look. You want that? I mean, is that the job you want?
I'll take my lunch break during that time.
Bless them. Miller says they found all kinds of ticks, including the Lone Star tick, which has been known to transmit an illness that causes an allergy to red meat, although they say that's pretty rare. The main concern is Lyme disease, and Miller says that's why those spending time outdoors should take steps to avoid contact with ticks altogether. They say check yourself over when you get home if you've been outdoors.
The best way to make sure that a tick isn't attached is to take a shower. That will flush the tick off of you if it has not attached yet. It usually takes them a little bit of time to attach. Once they're attached, if they've been attached for longer than 36 hours, they could transmit an infectious disease.
Miller says you're most likely to encounter ticks off trail, as bugs tend to hang off vegetation waiting for something to brush by. If a tick attaches to you and gives you an illness, it can be a couple of weeks before the symptoms show up. Miller says the first symptom of Lyme disease is a ring-like rash around the site of the bite. He recommends wearing long pants and sleeve when you're out there, as well as using bug spray when you're outdoors. And a boutique hotel is being developed at a historic property in Buchanan. The Buchanan City Commission this week approved an obsolete property rehabilitation exemption for the site at 206 Days Avenue, the former location of a livery stable. Developer 206 Days Avenue Holdings, LLC, is planning to invest $3.5 million, turning the building into a hotel with 10 units, a bar, and a venue for events like weddings. Speaking to city commissioners, Buchanan Community Development Director Richard Murphy said this is a special project.
It really does not get any more exciting than it gets in the world of redevelopment when old historic liveries become new boutique hotels, and the job creation and the construction jobs and the economic benefit and the leveraging of the history. We only need to look at down the road at a project called Journeyman to know what these projects can do for the community.
Murphy said the developer is seeking a $1.2 million state grant to help pay for the building's rehabilitation. Commissioner Dan Vianski questioned the assessed value of the property, but a motion from him to seek an appraisal found no support. Vianski later voted with the rest of the commission to approve the tax break. The 12-year obsolete property rehabilitation exemption means the taxable value of the property will be frozen during that time when improvements are made, and the developers hope to be finished and have the hotel open by springtime of next year. The project has the support of the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber and Cornerstone Alliance. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Taking a look at the Google Earth to learn more about that property.
Does it look cool?
Looks like it's gonna be cool.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like an
it's
old
a fixer-upper right now.
It's definitely a fixer-upper.
All right.
I think I see what they're seeing. I think it'll be pretty neat when it happens.
You want to put some money in there?
Good location too.
They only need $3.5 million.
Right. They're right down the road from downtown, so pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll get to sports with Dave Wolf here in just a moment. Also, always learning with our friends from Barry and Risa. That's all coming up as well. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Another day of delivery.
Yeah, it's like right on, right just down the road, probably maybe a mile or so from downtown. So,
well, let's take a look here.
Pretty cool spot.
Don't you just love Google Earth these days? Wow.
Yeah, pretty neat.
It's kind of sandwiched in a residential area.
Yeah, I was going to take a look and see if I could get a. Oh yeah, it's right. Oh yeah, it's right around the corner from the tin shop. I know exactly where this is. Yeah. Yeah. That at first I thought that's not a very big building, and then now I'm seeing the side view. Yeah, I know what building that is. I think at one point they had. I don't know if they still have it, but they had. What is the water wheel thing? What's that thing called? Where you you get the water picked up. What's that?
The water wheel?
Not a windmill. Water. Is it called a water wheel? What's that thing?
Old
water wheel thing. What is that called? People on our Facebook page, feel free to help me out. I'm drawing a blank here. The thing that picks up the water.
Old water wheel mill. Yeah, it's a water wheel.
Just a water wheel. Okay. Yeah. All right. They had one of those because there's a little stream that runs through there.
It's also called a tub wheel, a Norse mill, or a Greek mill.
Okay.
It's a horizontal wheel. Looks vertical. Why do they call it horizontal? Anyway.
Morning, Diane.
Hey, Diane. Bill.
John saying congratulations.
John, good to see you.
All right. So John Pros will join us.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything works correctly.
You put that out there.
I know. I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, man, I always hope that things work properly when we connect with other people. But I will have that at the ready.
One of the things that we're going to cover during the Moody on the Market update today is what's next following the senior PGA departure. And so we asked Pat Moody to write this article.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of experience with that.
A couple weeks in advance of this, we said, what would be who would be a perfect person to write this article? Why not someone who was there at the outset of helping to bring community leaders together to bring the SPGA here, the senior PGA. And so we said, Pat, you want to write this article? Just give your view on it. And he said, I'll do you one better. Let's reach out to all the people who were there and part of this at that time, get their input. Maybe we could put a form or a survey together. So we worked on that. We put it out there. And I tell you, we got a lot of great responses. Yeah. It's amazing. And the article, it's a sit down and read me later.
Sure.
Because I think it's about 3,900 words.
Well, it's one that definitely looking at the future, but also, looking at the past too of what was there before. I saw pictures somebody shared the other day of like, this is what the front nine looked like in 1986.
Oh yeah. Wholly different.
The totally
Junkyard,
different thing.
Dilapidated,
all kinds of
contaminated.
different construction and there are different manufacturing and stuff. And just to see that transformed. Yeah. But as things transform and evolve, you want to see what happens next. And again, you still have one of the best public golf courses in America, right here in Southwest Michigan. You've got a lot of things that have happened just from the dozen years or so that the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship had been a part of this community. So yeah, there's a lot of potential for what's next. So I'm looking forward to reading that and checking that out.
Yeah, we just asked 4 questions. It was a simple survey. Thinking back to your first involvement, what did you hope the event would mean for the community in the region? We asked how much of its intended purpose did it achieve and what will be its lasting legacy. We asked what's your most memorable moment of any KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship, and then following the departure, what's next? Where should we focus next?
All right.
So we asked a whole bunch of people. Some of the notable folks are in there. Not everyone though. Some people chose not to respond.
So I'm thinking
I'm not going to name names, but they'll be apparent.
Couple Jeffs
are in
couple
there.
Jeffs are in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a Greg in there. Is there a Greg? Maybe
you sound like a mind reader. You're like, there's someone in the room here. Is it a Greg?
Yeah, I'm a medium on the weekends.
That's your gig.
Yeah, I'm a medium.
Your side gig.
I will say that I speaking of the KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship, I wowed Brandon the other day when I was getting ready to interview him. I was like, I used to guess. I always tell people this. I used to guess ages and weights in the carnival when I was younger.
You did not.
I tell people this all the time because I'm actually really good usually at guessing weights, measurements, ages, and things like that.
Okay.
And he said, how old am I? And I guessed, and he was like, I think I said 33. And he said, I'll be 33 in 2 months.
Wow.
And I was like,
there you go.
Now, he isn't just somebody off the street. I've known the guy for years. So I was able to use clues from our experiences
Carnival
to be able
tricks.
to pull that there. Yeah. But somebody walking up on the street, that might be a little bit more difficult. But anyways.
You should turn that power to the stock market.
I used to do the stock market when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My dad used to try and trade on the stock market, and I learned to study all that stuff, market trends, and
that's tough.
All that. Yeah, I used to watch CNBC.
Well, now you have to battle the AI.
Watch.
They've trained the AI.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because it used to be computer trading, but think about, and that was 10 and a half years ago, 15 years ago. Now they do some of the AI stuff. It's like, oh gosh.
Yeah. So you got all the people that are throwing their money around that are gonna. I mean, that's the thing with the stock market. It's such a thing where it's just like if person that has a lot of money gets scared or hears a rumor, all of a sudden things start changing.
Yeah, the computers, they have no mercy.
Yeah, if you throw the computer in there and they're like, "Oh man, the computer says I should do this," and it's like, "Sell, sell, sell." Yeah, I think AI might be the next thing that crashes the stock market.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I see that headline coming.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, just because I mean that's it's
AI
a lot of times
says sell.
Yeah, if a lot of times it's motivated by fear.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Like that. That's a movie too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Telling you, man.
Mm.
We'll say that in other news, the construction that's happening on M51.
Oh, how's
US
it going?
12. I had to get a hold of Jocelyn and say, "Are you okay?" And
Why?
she said, "No, I'm on my way."
What happened?
She had let me know she was leaving, and then I got a hold of her and said, "Hey, are you on your way still? Like, did you get lost or did you get in an accident?" And she's like, "No, I'm driving still." But the route that she takes to get home is usually going up M51 in that stretch of area that's blocked off. So she's like, "No, I got to take the detour."
Oh,
so
okay.
She said, "I'm taking the detour on 3rd Street or whatever the detour was." And she said, everyone else is doing the exact same thing. So it's just slowing things down. It's been slowing things down since they took pretty much half of the highway away on N51, just made it 2 lanes going back and forth. Now doing the one northbound lane, it's a mess. And the detours, I mean, a lot of the detours are small residential streets, so you can't drive 50 or 45 through there. You have to drive probably 25 through some parts. So you're going to take a little while.
The primary reason I go through that area specifically is to get to the mall,
right?
Down on, or go to Grape Road. And I haven't been there for a while because every time I go to Guitar Center, I bring a new friend home.
So my suggestion is probably just stay on 31.
Okay, just go down.
Go all the way down and then take I think it's Cleveland Road.
But it's going to look totally different because they've gotten rid of the overpass, right?
Yeah, the overpass is gone. That is looking good.
Out.
It's looking really good. I don't know what the deadline for that one is to be done, but I think they're moving quicker than expected. So, but it's the stretch of 51 that that is a snail's pace of construction that's going on.
I still wonder about the Michigan lefts.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
On US 12 there.
Yeah, I'm worried that there will be a little bit of confusion at first, much like anytime you put a roundabout somewhere. But yeah, I would suggest either taking all the way 31 to as soon as you get across the border, you get to that Cleveland Road exit. Take that one if you're going to the mall.
Yeah.
You could also, once the Michigan left thing is done, you could take the US 12 exit and then go over to Gumwood.
Yeah.
And Gumwood would take you down there.
Yeah, even down there though, they're building up.
Well, they built the roundabout, and I think they're building. It looks as though they're building a second roundabout. I'm seeing trees being cleared away. I'm seeing some areas being cleaned up. So the preparation is there for possibly a second roundabout, because it needs a second roundabout because it's one of those jog over kind of things where the road. You hit a stop sign, you drive a little bit, and then you go down the road again. That causes a lot of congestion, especially when people are going to or getting off of work. So yeah.
Fun. What else we have going on there?
Yeah, Diane said she's going to try and avoid that mess.
Yeah. Good plan.
Bill says, so what will come after the golf game? We should get an off-road race to come to the area.
That'd be so cool.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
they
they've got
they do
Redbud.
some of those. Yeah, they got Redbud.
Yeah.
And I think doesn't Redbud, don't they do the dirt bikes, so I think they do a 4-wheeler race, and I don't know if they do a small like dune buggy kind of race or not. I don't think they do a car race on there. Track's not big enough for that. But I think they do 4-wheelers.
Let's see. They do riding. They do the amateur regional championship. Let's see. The Mid-East regional championship. Is that this weekend? I think that's this weekend.
What? That Mid-East one?
The Loretta Lynn Mid-East regional championship.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that where they bring people from all over the world? I know a friend of mine, Carol, she'll let some of the racers come into town. Some of the racing teams that come into town, she had some of them stay with her.
Oh,
some from Germany that she's had stay at her place.
Then July, over the Independence weekend, the holiday, they've got the pro motocross.
Yeah,
that's a national.
Do love the Redbud.
Redbud.
That's a place to avoid that area when Redbud is in town because there's a ton of people.
I would say if you've not before, drive through it.
Yeah. You gotta
make
see
some time.
You gotta see it.
Make some time.
You gotta see the craziness that is the camping and all the amount of people.
Man, it's something.
And
else.
if you've never been to the race, I do encourage you to go to the race at least once.
I feel like I've been to the race because every Memorial Day you get the
oh yeah
or whatever
whenever
July
holiday. 4th weekend,
July 4th
believe,
weekend. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
And just noise all.
Oh yeah,
but it's not that bad. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. He said Redbud did have the Lucas Oil off-road series. Yeah, that's what it was. The off-road series.
Yeah, I don't see that one this year.
Teresa on our Facebook says, hey, can you do me a favor?
Oh, okay.
Keep my sister in your prayers. She's having major surgery next week at Mayo Clinic.
Oh,
and
done.
I'm worried.
Okay.
We will definitely do that, Teresa.
Yeah.
Don't be worried. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, very much.
All right.
Absolutely.
So John Prose will be joining us from Hotel Mackinac City or whatever hotel he is over there.
He says
up there.
Yeah,
he's up north.
Yeah, he says he's on it. See you shortly. Coffee required for the startup.
All right.
So he's getting his coffee.
Getting connected.
So we'll talk with John just a little bit after 7:30.
What day did the conference start? Did it start earlier this week?
Yeah, it's been underway.
Like
Let's see, Tuesday through Friday.
Okay.
So 4 days of fun.
Wow.
And the theme this week is bringing the future together.
Bringing the future together.
Bringing the future together.
Because last year it was the power of and.
The power of and
bringing
today,
the future together.
Today it's this week it's bringing the future together and collaboration across divides.
You know, it's funny that they say bringing the future together, but yet the debate that they were talking about having for the Senate seat that Debbie Stabenow will be retiring from.
Yes.
They said, no, we're not going to do that. So you're not bringing the future together for that.
They tried to bring the future together.
Yeah.
They were trying to bridge the divide, but apparently it was a divide too far.
Not quite.
Yeah.
We'll bring the future together everywhere else, just not everywhere. And I think that's a good one too. A good name because speaking of bridging the gap and bringing things together, the Gordie Howe Bridge. That I believe is almost done.
Oh, really?
I've seen it gets closer and closer together, and I think it's almost, if not already, connected.
Ooh.
Pretty. Obviously, they've got more construction and things to do, but I believe they were just a small section left. Last picture I saw.
Oh, well, that's nice,
and that's going to be a pretty awesome thing.
I wonder if they'll have runs across it.
You know, I don't know. Because, I mean, Mackinac, the Mighty Mac, they've got the big walk that happens around Labor Day.
Yeah. Because you've got the Ambassador Bridge just north of the Gordie Howe International Bridge. Then there was a tunnel. I'm pretty sure when we ran the half marathon over there was a tunnel involved.
Oh, some marathoning through a tunnel.
Yeah. Yep. It's a half for me.
Well,
but
still
yeah.
13. That's 13 miles, man.
13.1. Yeah, it's good stuff.
What was it like running through the tunnel?
Dark.
Was it weird?
Dark, and it wasn't bad because I was afraid of the fumes of
Sure.
cars, but those had cleared out, so it was nice.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's
actually,
very focusing.
It was probably a relief because
No wind, too.
no wind. You got a little bit of a cool out of the sun.
Very cool.
Little break.
Yeah, it was nice.
Huh. Yeah. Half marathon. Never.
You could
never,
do it.
never
You
going to
could
do
it.
that. No.
You could do it in your sleep.
A friend of mine, she's been doing those a lot.
Yeah.
And she did it one just the other day for Memorial Day weekend. And yeah, no, hard pass for me. I'll do the 5Ks. I'll walk the 5K and maybe even run the 5K. But the 13 miles, nope.
Did you
I don't even
hear
like driving 13 miles.
Did you hear about the 32-year-old woman who just completed 36 marathons in 36 days? She ran 36 marathons in 36 days.
No.
Yeah. Sophie Holmes, 32 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, she's the first person with cystic fibrosis to do 36 marathons in 36 days. I would imagine she might be the first person to do 36 marathons in 36 days.
Yeah, that's
maybe
crazy.
not. If not, that's crazy.
I thought you're not supposed to do that. Like they always say,
That's
like
what
when
they
you're
told her.
training for a marathon.
Oh, that. You're not supposed to run.
Yeah, you're not supposed to run like when you're training like the week leading up to it. They're like, if you're gonna do 26, like you're training the week of maybe 13. You got to do basically cut that in half.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But she has cystic fibrosis.
Wow.
The lung condition and digestive system are affected with that. They probably told her that you're not going to be able to do this, and
Sure.
she did.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody the other day when I was at the Lori's Place Run, Walk, and Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, yeah, I said, oh, you running in the 5K? And then she showed me her stomach and said, no, I'm pregnant. And I said, I just saw somebody that I saw in the news, somebody was pregnant and ran a marathon.
And won.
Yeah. So I was like, you could do it if you want.
I bet that was a great conversation.
Yeah, I was like, I said, I'm not saying you need to do it, but I said you could. Can you imagine
if you
that?
really wanted to.
Imagine that baby. I mean, I guess you've got a nice running rhythm. It's the baby's rocking
just
itself
rocking
to sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Got news coming up here in just a second. So stand by.
Reverse last month, thanks in part to a temporary suspension of Prius deliveries, but its North America sales surged 16%, and Europe sales were strong. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
It's the morning show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
You
It
didn't
might
have a
have
celebrity
been.
sighting?
Well, we were coming back from Stevensville last night, and I saw somebody on a bicycle, and I happened to be talking with Andrew Green about Flick Pick because he was telling me what movies he's seen, what we can expect tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think it might be either his review tomorrow, by the way, for Flick Pick might be either the new Mad Max movie, whatever it's called.
Furiosa?
Yeah.
I have not seen Fury Road.
Yeah.
That came out years ago.
I heard Fury Road was good. I've not seen it.
I mean, it's got Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron
in that. And she's always awesome.
Okay.
So
and then I think he also saw Garfield. So I don't know if we're gonna get I don't know if we're gonna get a twofer tomorrow.
The movie nobody wanted.
The movie nobody wanted. There was no reason to have it, but it was out there. He said the crowd inside the theater for Furiosa was like 3 people.
Really?
And he said in Garfield, tons of folks.
Because that Mad Max the Fury Road one won a ton of Academy Awards.
Yeah. He didn't
all
like
kinds
that.
of-
He didn't like that one.
No?
He didn't like Fury Road, but he did apparently like Furiosa. So, but I think Anya Taylor-Joy is in Furiosa.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I
And
don't like her.
You don't like her?
I don't think she's very good. I've never seen like Queen's Gambit, but I saw her in Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Driving home yesterday from Stevensville, see somebody riding on a bike with this long blonde hair and this, face put together kind of like Anya Taylor-Joy. It might have been. Maybe she was checking out the beaches here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Vacationing?
Yeah.
Could be.
Never can tell.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If anybody else has found that celebrity sighting.
Yeah, or
made-
Anya Taylor-Joy, if you're listening, go ahead and let us know that we saw it.
Yeah, thanks for listening to this fine award-winning program.
Yeah, absolutely.
News are coming up from the state in just a moment. Right now, let's find out what's happening here locally.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Good morning. Some of the local news stories that we're covering for you today. Berrien County has a new prosecutor. Berrien County Assistant Prosecutor Amy Bird has been appointed to be the new Berrien County prosecutor. Berrien County Trial Court announced yesterday a panel of judges interviewed and then picked Bird for the interim role. Current prosecutor Steve Perangeli announced his retirement earlier this year. That will take effect early Monday. The vote of the judges was unanimous. Bird was the only candidate to be interviewed for the job last week. She'll hold the office of prosecuting attorney until a successor is elected in November. And yes, she is also running for that seat in the November election. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has announced a new effort to reduce housing and energy costs in Michigan. Speaking at the Mackinac Policy Conference yesterday, Whitmer said her administration is increasing its goals for constructing or rehabbing homes in the state. The previous goal, she announced in her State of the State address, was 75,000 units of affordable housing by September of 2026. But at the Mackinac Policy Conference this week, she raised that goal to 115,000 housing units. We'll talk a little bit more about the Mackinac Policy Conference with former State Senator John Prose in just a few minutes. We'll first load him up on the video live stream. So if you're watching that exclusive content on Facebook, X, or YouTube, you can see it there. And we'll also have more of that conversation as we continue on the radio. And lastly, in the news, the St. Joe City Commissioners have heard the recommendations for what to do about downtown parking. They hired a consulting firm to study the issue. That report has now come back. They had a study session yesterday, and the consulting firm said, well, we can probably implement paid parking in downtown. Here's how to do it. Here's how much it's going to cost. Here's how long you're going to need to do that and get ready. So we'll have more about that coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Well, let's find out what's happening around the state.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher, Detroit Police.
All right.
How you feel about the parking situation?
In St. Joe?
Yeah.
I will say I'm not a fan of the parking because when it is busy, it's hard to find a space.
Yeah.
And I've even talked to people that work downtown at some of the businesses. Like you imagine, like delivery driver for the sandwich shop down there. There's not really a designated space for that person. And so they go out, make a delivery. Somebody takes their space. Then they have to spend some time trying to find a spot.
That sounds like it's making me wait for my sandwich longer.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, in any town that just has the free all day parking, which is nice, I think there's a lot of people that take advantage of that and say, oh, it's free all day parking. So I can park here and spend the whole day down here. And of course you want to see people spend the day and shop and check out the beach and all that. But there is a limit.
Yeah.
There's the time because there's a limit in the amount of spaces. But really in the peak summertime, having that, I think can be good to have a little bit of paid parking. Now, the question is how much and where will these paid parking areas be? I mean, paid parking works in other towns. I mean, if you drive up to Traverse City, which is another coastal town. Yeah. John Prose is loading himself up. Another coastal town. They've got paid parking and it works out.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting question. I know they've been studying it forever. But you know, it just depends on who is going to be taking that parking. Let's bring John on for a second so we can at least check his thing because it seems like we've got a white screen there.
Check.
Hello,
check,
John.
Check. Hello.
Good morning. White screen.
Are you there?
It doesn't look like he's connected.
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I will reload.
John, if you can hear us, we see your screen. However, what we see is just darkness. There's no audio, no video coming through there. This is the exclusive behind the scenes content you can get there.
Oh, you went away. Look at that.
Oh, so Maybe he's
And then he did
rejoining.
private chat, and he said, "I will reload." Reload.
Reload.
Oh, Teresa says, "Congratulations to your son again."
Hey, thank you. Commencement tonight. He's super excited, and he survived his surfing lesson yesterday. So that was exciting for me because they were talking about red flag and waves and stuff like that.
So he is the third person in the rankings of you've got valedictorian, salutatorian, and then him.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Third in his class.
What do they call it?
Third in his class.
That's it? There's no special name?
There's probably a special name.
And how did you ask him how far away he was from the valedictorian? I'm sure it was like by 0.001.
I'll make up a story.
Okay. You're gonna make up a story.
I'm gonna make up a story.
Okay.
It was probably even, and they flipped a coin. That's probably what I'm gonna go with.
And that's not how they do that. Then you would just be shared valedictorian.
Sharedictorian?
Sharedictorian.
Yeah.
I know when
that doesn't sound appropriate.
I remember Jocelyn said when she graduated, the top 10 was separated from like top to bottom, only separated by like 2.02 points. So like basically you had 4.0 to like 3.98. That was your top 10.
Oh man.
So just bunch of really good smart kids.
Okay, so John said he had audio but no video backup momentarily. Okay. Worst case. Try your phone.
Yeah, he can try to load it up on his phone. See if that works out.
Could be the spotty internet up north.
I was curious about that because I think we tried to connect with him last year when he was there, and I think it all worked out. But
I'm gonna give him the hotline just in case.
Oh, let's see.
Is he there?
See?
Hey, there he is.
Hey,
look at that. Can
Good
you hear
morning.
it?
I got
Let's see. We've got no audio.
All right. I do not hear you.
Still no audio from
Senator,
me.
if you take your ear pods out, you might be able to hear us. All right. Hang on one second.
Reload audio.
Johnny's doing a couple things on this end. It looks sunny there.
Hey, I can hear you.
We're trying to get your audio in here. Can't hear your audio, John.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Any setting on your
audio?
computer there?
Hang on. Yep, I'm readjusting.
Wayne says they can hear him.
Oh, they can hear him. Okay, hang on, John. You've got it right. We're doing something on this end.
Got it. I'm glad they can hear. Good.
Speaker.
See, this is why we do the things behind the scenes so the listeners can help us solve some of these technical issues.
Just keep talking to me, John, and see if I can't hear you.
I got you. Checking. Hopefully we can catch up here.
This one.
How about some coffee? Who needs
Hey,
coffee?
There we go.
Coffee.
Hey,
Oh, I got you. Look at that.
hey. Good morning.
How you doing, Senator? We're talking with
Fantastic.
former state senator John Prose, who's sipping his coffee. Confessed to us he needs coffee to get started in the morning.
Oh boy, do I. Absolutely.
All right, we'll
No
talk
doubt.
here in 30 seconds.
Excellent.
Well,
Thank you, guys.
tell us where you're at.
I am off island. I'm what is considered a commuter because there's only 1,400 rooms on the island, and I get the bottom of the barrel. So I am in Mackinac City.
Hey, you're
Okay.
close enough.
That's
You're-
right.
you're
I mean,
far-
it's just-
Wouldn't you rather be separated a little bit from that?
all right. Truth be told, yes.
We'll be
All right.
right back. And we're
Stand
going to go.
And that man that you just heard is hanging out with us this morning, far away, all the way up north at the in Mackinac City.
Yeah.
He is there, just down across the bridge there.
Former State Senator John Prose is with us. He's at the Mackinac Policy Conference. It's a 4-day, speaker fest where you have a ton of folks coming up telling you what they think, and then I guess you tell them what you think in return. What's happening up there, John?
I'll tell you what, it has been
Oh boy.
referred to as speeding. Yeah. Yeah. Did we lose audio again?
No, we're good. We're good.
We're good.
Just
Go
a little
ahead.
blip.
We had a
Go
little
ahead.
internet blip, but we'll bear through it. Go ahead. Sorry, start again.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So it's been referred to as speed dating from one topic to the next. I mean, we've talked to everything from name, image, and likeness in college athletics to population growth to talent acquisition and talent setup here in our communities. For me, it's really interesting because much of this is dominated by the governor's operation, whomever the governor is, right? Rick Snyder before, Governor Whitmer today, Governor Granholm when I was in the House of Representatives. We really do get to see a lot of the public policy discussion. And certainly the government has a huge influence in some of that. But it's the level of engagement by CEOs and private industry that really helps to mark this particular conference as a game changer if we implement some of the thoughts and considerations. Now, not all of them are good for Southwest Michigan, in my opinion. I think that we are unique. We have our Indiana border is right there competing against us every day. And so some of the things that happen in the Detroit area, happen in the Lansing area, happen at the Capitol, we need to make sure that our Southwest Michigan voice is heard because we see things a little bit differently with the influence of Chicago and Indiana and so forth.
Sure, absolutely. And the theme of this year's conference is bringing the future together and focusing on some of that collaboration across divides. How's it going so far? Are they bringing the future together that you like?
There's a good mix of Republicans and Democrats on the island right now, both public policy officials and business and industry officials. And you can imagine when the House, the Senate, and the governor's operations are all in Democrat control, that there's a great deal of focus on what they're going to deliver as the leaders of the public policy arena. But business and industry leans in pretty hard too, and I think rightly so, and says, well, wait a second, where does that help my particular industry grow? Are we competitive on a national stage, on an international stage? And really, that's a lot of the population growth that Hillary Doe and the folks with the Population Council that I helped to provide some thoughts to, at least some thought leadership that I tried to bring, kind of Southwest Michigan common sense thought leadership. And ultimately, it really does come down to that. Does our ecosystem compete day to day with everybody else in the rest of the nation? And I think there's some areas we can improve. There's no doubt about it. And part of that is that political struggle that happens between both the right and the left. And then interesting, I got to tell you, there is a real concern amongst thoughtful people, Republicans and Democrats both, on what this election season is going to be like. And there's a great deal of worry about that. Former Speaker Paul Ryan alluded to that yesterday in one of his talks here on the island. And as you know, Speaker Ryan left Washington, D.C. with a great deal of frustration and left his speaker post, trying to figure out what's next. Now he's a super thoughtful and wonderful member of the House of Representatives during his time from Wisconsin. But I think that flows as a nonpartisan issue, is concern about this election year.
Yeah, and I mean it's coming up quick because the August primaries. Shoot, we're almost 2 months away.
Yeah.
From that, a little more than 2 months. But the governor last year, and as you mentioned, you were part of this, the study of what to do about Michigan's population problem, and it seems like the problem. Maybe it hasn't been addressed yet. Maybe they're starting to try to address it. But at the same time, the governor yesterday upped her goal for affordable housing from 75,000 units up to now 115,000 affordable housing units. And it just on its face, and I'm sure there's something different in the details, but if you're increasing housing and at the same time you're seeing a decreasing population and the trend continues that way, how does that square? What are you thinking about what the governor's talking about?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things there. What she recognizes by virtue of saying 115, you say, well, that's a lot of housing. It is, but the problem's far worse than that in the state of Michigan, and it's far worse than that in the nation as a whole. Even in Southwest Michigan, if you take the number, and this comes from the Strategic Leadership Council's work with the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission and John Eaglehoff and his team, where we quantified that crossover between supply and demand and housing for Berrien County. We have a significant amount of obsolete housing, and we also have sectors, depending upon our region of the county itself, that are woefully behind in terms of every level of housing. So people talk missing middle. Missing middle is only a part of the concern. So the reason I say that the governor is only scratching the surface is this is a problem of underinvestment over the last 20 to 30 years. So 115,000 is almost an admission that the state can do very little in incentivizing it, which is why I would respond to the governor, hey, let's find a way to be the most competitive state in our tax policy. Let's find a way to be the most competitive state and provide the ecosystem incentives that is public-private partnerships so that the developers can come in and say, we're going to compete. We're going to compete to build the sections of housing that is necessary. And by that in Berrien County, we can relay this very directly. We need housing at every level in Berrien County, both high end, missing middle, quote, what that means, and everything else in between. And then there's a whole subsection of obsolete housing. And clearly there are some folks who are in not only obsolete housing, but decrepit housing. And that needs to be solved too. That's what, of course, we call that affordable housing space. So lots of work to be done. But logically, Ken and Johnny, what does that bring? That brings a question on, well, who's going to build it? And that's the talent question that's also coming up right now. What are we doing on talent to build talent?
Yeah, and that's a lot of the conversations that are going to be had even today. I mean, I'm just going through the docket of what's on the list for seminars. Some of them talking about talent, but also too, as you talk about infrastructure, there's going to be talks on that, as well as building those talents and looking at the emerging future of EVs and the EV ecosystem. We've talked about data centers and things like that. So, like you said, building that infrastructure and that foundation, not only as far as building actual buildings, but also to looking at taxes and incentives and things like that. So what are your plans for today? What are some of the things that you're going to try and hit?
I'm going to hit more coffee first.
Yes.
We're gonna hit that more coffee first.
Nice. I did see there's a Bloody Mary bar. That's
really?
Yeah, at 11.
Oh, man.
So you hit that.
Well, people seem to lose their mind a little bit when they come to the island. I think this is my 24th or 25th time to the island for this conference, and then the Republican Party had an event on the island every September, every other year, every non-election year, right? So it was always a trip up here for that also. So I think it's like 24, 25 times that I've come up here. So being off the island's okay, because I think people lose their mind just because there's only horses and bikes and we're not driving. I think Bloody Mary bars might go a little over the top. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just me. So I'll be hopping on a shuttle in a little bit here, attending this talent crisis, how to make Michigan a high wage, high growth. What about this EV space? It's huge for Michigan. Obviously, we're the mobility capital of the world. We do more R&D in the automotive space than any place else in the world. An interesting conversation yesterday. I'd be curious your guys' thoughts on this. There was a discussion about Gen Z's political sway. Did you see that on the agenda yesterday?
I see it there. Yeah.
It was a really interesting conversation. Very little. This is what I took from it. Very little interest. Gen Z, and this is my children, by the way. I have two college kids, right? One that just graduated and one's going to be a senior.
Sure.
Little interest in kind of the international affairs and a bunch of interest in our current state of affairs here domestically. And I think you're starting to see that in some of the responses that political figures are giving as it relates to Russia, as it relates to Venezuela, as it relates to what's happening across the globe with China and so forth. I think that's a concern, to be honest with you. Sure. I continue to come from that Reagan era of peace through strength and trust, but verify, right? So my hope is that we're not going to just decouple from the international climate entirely. But that's my view of it. I'll be curious your thoughts on Gen Z.
But the Gen Z folks, they actually showed up to the conference.
Well,
because you can schedule this
exactly.
thing, but getting them to show up for things is interesting. Johnny and I were talking yesterday about, when we were 15 and a half, all we were looking forward to is getting our driver's license. Gen Z doesn't care. They don't want to drive.
I mean, I appreciate that
they're wired differently.
There's any care at all about things. I mean, having that local interest is great, but obviously you want to keep in mind all the things that are happening around you, including international.
And they seem apathetic. And hopefully that apathy will season with age into finding those things that they're caring about more than just in the moment for the fad.
Yeah, it will be curious. Like I said, this one left me with more questions. The other areas I kind of understand because we work in that space, right? Both Strategic Leadership Council. And I got to tell you, we're doing things in Southwest Michigan that others aren't doing when it comes to talent too. And talent, by the way, is addressing Gen Z's need for jobs, right? So that's a good thing. You look at what's happening with the Berrien Talent Collaborative with Barry and Risa and the Chamber, working with Lake Michigan College and Trevor and his operation over there. Michigan Reconnect and funding those 4,700 nursing positions that are open across the state right now. 19,000 jobs in healthcare are open right now. And while we've made progress, we need to be training these people to get there. Apprenticeships is a big part of where we're heading in Berrien County. And that is a groundbreaking change. This isn't just, hey, go to school. This is, hey, come to my operation. I'm going to teach you. You're going to have a job. And we're going to get you certified over time in an apprenticeship. That is a game changer for talent acquisition and growth.
Yeah, we're talking with former State Senator John Prost. He's at the Mackinac Policy Conference. He's actually across the water right now. How's that ride over, by the way?
It's always beautiful. I mean, yesterday I was on the 9 a.m. yesterday, and we went all the way over underneath the Mackinac Bridge and then back underneath the Mackinac Bridge to come back. It was kind of the sightseeing boat to the island. It really is. I mean, Michigan is just stunning and beautiful. There's just no doubt about it.
And the Bloody Mary bar that Johnny was talking about just a moment ago happens at 11 o'clock this morning. I noticed the U.S. Secretary of Commerce chose strategically to speak before the Bloody Mary bar opens.
Yes, and that is not by chance.
I imagine people will sneak away at 11.
I think that's exactly right. And then there's just a series of events on the island that include the speakers.
What do we expect from the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo? Is she going to bring anything interesting for Michigan?
I don't think so.
Michigan's a purple state, so Biden administration probably anxious to get it sewn up if they can.
I think what you're going to see is a full-blown, full-throated support of the president, right? I mean, she is a secretary of the Biden administration. President Biden is in a re-election fight. Michigan is absolutely critical to their success for the re-election of the president. That this is going to be, look, in an off election year, I think it might be more meaty. In this case, it's going to be a victory tour on how great President Biden is. And that happens on both sides, right? When George W. Bush was in office, when he had his secretaries come to conferences like this in an election year, just months away, that's part of the game. That's part of what happens. This is a reminder to everybody at this conference that they believe that President Biden is best for America. That's the way that it's going to be. And like I said, that happened whether it was Republican or Democrat. I those to be as important as the conversations with those thought leaders on the porch that are going to be implementing these sorts of strategies, right? That's where the meat of this conference really gets done, is with the CEOs and the public policy officials off stage, talk about where those friction points are, try to solve those friction points and make a difference in our communities.
Yeah, that's big. Former State Senator John Prost, thanks for joining us from the Mackinac Policy Conference. Enjoy the conference. We'll look forward to a follow-up in addition to what we had today. So thanks.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Right, enjoy that Bloody Mary bar. And get popcorn, too. I saw the popcorn. There's a popcorn stand.
Ice cream, popcorn. How about just more
social? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
all
get
right,
some
sir.
fudge as well. That'd be good.
Thank you so much. Coming up here in just a little bit, we'll have your Moody on the Market update. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM. All right, sir.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you.
Happy to. Sorry for the delay in technology.
All good. All good.
All good. It was all on our end, so you're good.
We got it all figured out. We got it. It worked out.
Enjoy the day.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Take care.
The other thing, you mentioned the Bloody Mary bar.
Yeah.
And have you seen the crazy Bloody Marys that they've been coming up with these days?
Oh yeah, there's like a cheeseburger in there. There's
man.
bratwurst
It's
hanging
like-
out.
it's
There's
like-
like a triple stack of bacon. All
It's
kinds
enough
of different
food
things.
for 4 people.
Oh yeah, it's a charcuterie board on a stick.
Food for 4
in your
people.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary for 1, but
Right.
food for 4.
Yeah, I would like for them to spend more time on making the actual Bloody Mary taste good.
You don't like the
It's hard. No,
traditional?
I do like the
Okay.
traditional, but I like a good spice, a good balance, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need all the stuff on top.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it.
JM.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Buttons and buttons and buttons.
Lots of buttons.
Your Moody on the Market update happening now. It's brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and Niles.
And there is an article here that you're going to want to read at moodyonthemarket.com. It's talking about community leaders and their thoughts as they contemplate what's next following the departure of the senior PGA. We had the championship here last week. Johnny and I were down there for the morning show every day. We had our play-by-play or the stroke-by-stroke commentary from our folks as well. It's been here every other year for the last decade plus, and now it's gone. That's it. And so we thought, what better way to think about this than to contact the people who were part of the creation of bringing that event here. And we sent a survey out. So as the storm clouds melted into the approaching sunset and the echoes of the championship toast faded into the evening air from the bold red grandstand behind what just hours earlier was a jam-packed first tee at Harbor Shores, there was an odd mix of euphoria and melancholy setting into the 18 fairways. That is prose, not John prose, but that's poetic prose.
PROSE.
Yeah, from none other than Pat Moody. We asked him to write this article talking about what's next after the senior PGA, and he talked to a lot of people.
Yeah, a ton of people. And I mean, he was one of those folks, along with a lot of other people that were involved in the putting this all together when he was part of the Cornerstone Chamber of Commerce, and also talked with worked with Jeff Knoll when he was at Cornerstone Alliance, and then over when he was at Whirlpool. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the list of the people. I mean, you got Al Pashoka in there, Jeff Fettig, Darwin Watson, as well as Wendy Dant Chesser, Jeff Knoll, Arthur Havlicek tossed in there, Sarah Spoonholtz, Jerry Price, JP, John Prose, who we just talked to, getting all of them and more, their input on all those different things. How we got there, what's next. And so much more.
Yeah, because there are so many people involved in that, and so many community voices. We put out a survey, and Pat sent it to the who's who of who've made that, and a lot of folks responded. Not everyone, not everyone. We hope to get everyone, but we got a good amount of folks, and we asked them 4 questions. But just take a look at that article written by Pat Moody, and I think you really enjoy it. I think we clocked it in near 4,000 words.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to set some time aside for it.
But it is good to see all that input, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Yeah, and I mean, people are basically asking, what's the bottom line of what's next? And I think the bottom line is it's what we make it.
Right.
And it's up to the community to make it. Not just an individual, not just a company. It's going to be a whole community effort.
Yeah, I think this is just the beginning. Of what the future holds, because just in that past dozen years or so, a lot has happened.
Sure.
Just from that process of putting that golf course there and putting the things around it, the homes, and there's so many more things to do.
So you can take a look at that at moodyonthemarket.com.
And your Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and Niles.
We're watching over you.
Cool.
All right. Are you ready to push all these buttons like I do every day?
No. Which button? What was the magic fix for John's audio
that was
feed there?
The speaker audio. Had to change one of the outputs there.
Well, that seems tricky.
Yeah. I noticed it one day when I was trying to, like, a lot of the people that were watching on our live stream, they're like, oh, we can hear it. But just it coming back to us in our ears wasn't working. And that happened to me the other day when I was trying to play a pre-produced video.
Right.
I think people on the live stream were hearing the audio, but I wasn't. So I was like, well, I can't get that on the air. But I fixed it.
Okay.
I think.
Did somebody change it? Is that why it wasn't working?
I think it was like when a computer restarted.
Okay.
At some point, some configuration probably changed. So, nerd stuff.
Boy. Stuff we're going to
troubleshooting is always fun. It's nice when you troubleshoot and then you hit the mark and you get it, you fix it.
Yes, that was just in time.
All right. Yeah, it literally was like 30 seconds before we were on. But all right, everybody. Thanks again for spending some time with us. Tomorrow will be my last day doing this. I'm sure I'll pop in at some point doing some things. But
can we get you up that early?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not switching to an afternoon show. I'm switching to a morning show. So
one more day.
I'll be busy with other things, but I'm sure I'll pop in at some point.
Excellent.
But all right, everybody. Have a great day, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.
See ya.